Finding the right accessories to create a perfect filming rig can be challenging. So today I will show you my favorite must-have camera accessories for filming video. What up guys, welcome back to an episode. My name is Eddie Bear and today we're going to talk about camera accessories for SLR cameras that you should consider investing in if you want to level up your production. I will show you all the gear I'm momentarily using on my main rig here, and I'm going to link all the mentioned products for you in the description. As a side note, you should see this camera rig as a blueprint. You can switch out the camera or any of the accessories for whatever brand you prefer. You only need to make sure you have the right cables to connect the individual devices. To be fully transparent, all the gear you're about to see I paid for myself except the 99 Wh Moment V-mount batteries, which were sent to me for review purposes. So with that out of the way, let's begin with an overview of my main rig. At the heart of my rig you can find a Canon EOS R, which is the main component for this setup. In order to make this setup riggable at all, I enclosed the Canon EOS R5 in a SmallRig cage, which was extended with a top handle also from SmallRig. This cage enables me to expand the capabilities of the R5 easily without putting any additional strain on the camera body itself. Whenever you are considering building a rig, you have two options for power supply. You either use individual batteries for every single device, or you go with a central power supply solution. If you power everything on its own, it can sometimes become difficult to keep track of all the power levels during a shoot. And I'm certain if you are watching this, you know how painful it is if you think you recorded the perfect... there it is. So as I was saying, you know how painful it is if you think you recorded the perfect take but your microphone decides to not record anything because it just ran out of juice in the middle of the recording. This is the reason why I decided to go with the Moment 99 Wh V-mount batteries instead of individual ones. They not only feature a standard V-mount connector, but two USB-A ports on the other side and two D-tap connectors on each side. Right next to one of the D-tap connectors you can find a charge indicator which lights up if you push the button. Thanks to the 99 Wh charge, you can not only operate medium-sized devices like this V-Lite here, but you can also operate smaller size devices like cameras or monitors or audio equipment for an extended amount of time. After we establish what kind of camera rig we are going to build, let's start by mounting the basic components. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are going to use the SmallRig cage, which was specifically made for the Canon EOS R, and if you're using a different kind of camera brand or just a different kind of model of Canon camera, you will have to get the corresponding cage, but they have a wide variety of supported cameras, so it's easy to go with their accessories. Another simple reason why I prefer the SmallRig cage for the EOS R5 is that it comes with its own mounting tool. You don't need any additional tools to mount this cage to your camera. We are also going to use a top handle, which is also from SmallRig, and this one has an ARRI mount on the bottom and a quick release option for a cold shoe mount on the top, so if you have any accessories it is locked into place and it cannot fall out. Aside from this top handle comes with an integrated Allen key, so it's easier to mount to your camera cage, and if you prefer a different kind of size or form factor, they have a lot of options, so it's totally up to you which you prefer. Mounting the two is super easy. Just screw in the ARRI mount on the top of the cage and make sure to fasten the screw afterwards with the included Allen key in the grip. Now take the magnetically secured tool from the bottom of the cage and remove the 3 screws that are located on the bottom side of the camera cage. Now insert the camera and lock it down by inserting the 3 screws you just removed. Normally, you would now mount the battery behind the camera, but since I'm aiming for an even weight distribution in this setup, I'm going to place the battery underneath the camera, but this introduces some obstacles. For one, if you put down the camera onto the floor, it will scuff up the battery, which isn't bad, but it could potentially expose it to some kind of damage, and that we don't want. We also want to cover the V-mount contacts in the front of the battery so nothing gets in there that doesn't belong there, especially water. For this purpose, I designed this little cover here, which easily slides onto the Moment 99 Wh battery and locks itself into place. So this way the V-mount connectors are fully covered and nothing ever will get into there. Since we now have that figured out, we just need to attach the battery somehow to the cage. And for this we are going to use this V-mount adapter, which we are going to mount onto the bottom of the camera cage. These two screws here are more than enough to attach the V-mount plate to the camera cage. Now just slide one of these D-Tap to dummy battery adapters into the battery slot of the camera and attach it to the battery. This setup so far isn't bad, but to make it really good we have to add an external recorder, and for this we're going to go with the Atomos Ninja 5. To mount the Atomos Ninja 5 to the top handle, we are using this magic friction arm, which is just easily screwed into the top handle, and we are using the Allen key in order to secure it tightly, and after that we just have to connect the power supply and the HDMI cable to the recorder. And I have some small advice for you. If you take the HDMI cable and twist it around the power cable that goes to the Atomos, if you adjust the magic arm, it will always drag the cable with it. So this way you never get entangled within the power cable or the HDMI cable, and at the same time you have less cable clutter. And since no camera rig would be complete without any kind of sound solution, I would highly recommend you the HoloLens Lark M1, because this little sound device comes with active noise cancellation on the transmitters, and with the cage we have multiple options where we can mount the receiver onto the cage or the handle, and it has such a small footprint and such light weight that it barely is even noticeable if you are going for any kind of run and gun shooting. And as a cherry on top, if you ever feel like your Canon EOS R5 is just running too hot, slap a cooling solution onto its back. With the V-mount battery, you can easily tap into the power through USB and power even a cooling solution if you have to. So now you may be wondering, why do I actually love this setup? The answer is quite easy. It is unbelievably versatile. You can mount whatever lens you ever like onto the setup. There are no limitations. It's incredibly well balanced. I can hold this whole rig with just one finger because it's so lightweight. And if I need something else in there or need to make any adjustments, I have all the contact points I ever will need. And I can just easily swap out every component that I used in this build. So if you have any questions regarding the custom rig for the Canon EOS R5 or questions regarding the accessories I used today, just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. With that said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do whatever the YouTubers have to do, and I'll see you in the next one.